Okay, my name is Becky Vitez, and I was born in 1952, and I grew up in Friendsville, and I've lived here all my life. My dad and mom owned a grocery store. It was called Schlosnagle's store, and they had groceries, and they had a style shop and a shoe shop, and they bought that store, which I think it was just a grocery store at the time, from our grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Schlosnagle, which was my mom's parents. And anyway, during that time, my dad became a constable in I can't remember, 61 I think it was, no, 1959. And he was constable till after 1971. I'm not sure what time, what date he retired from being a constable. But anyway, during that time, it was in, let's see, 1963. Yeah, 1963, I'm pretty sure, that it was in the summertime, and there was pipeliners here from, a lot of them were from Louisiana. Anyway, they would go to the bars in town, and there was a couple of them, I think they came from, I think it was a VFW across the bridge at the time. Anyway, they came from, I think they were going to Ken's bar, but anyway, during their little walk, a couple of them got in a fight, and they were fighting in the road, and I told my dad, I said, there's a fight starting, and he was working in the store at the time. I was 11, and he told me, he said, go get my gun and my blackjack for me. So I went and got it and his badge, and so he went out, and he was over there to stop the fight, and a man that lived next to Ken's bar, he came out, and he was an older man. I'd say he was at least in his 60s or somewhere around that. Anyway, he was also a pipeliner, and he came out and he tried to stop them from fighting because they were two younger guys, and I think they were all friends really, but they just got in fights. And anyway, he tried to stop him. Well, here one of them had a gun and shot him, and it killed him. And when it was all over, I mean, when there was a group of people there, and I was really worried that it was my dad that got shot, but luckily he didn't get hurt. But anyway, his name, I'm pretty sure, is Mr. Templeton. He got shot and killed. We would go trick-or-treating and go across the river. We'd always run real fast to pass there because they said that I think a girl got killed or something on the second floor and that blood would run down the wall at midnight. So we were always afraid. It was so dark along there, so we would run past it.
That big spooky tree there and everything.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, like, we lived right across from Bud Fisher's, and you could hear the music coming from the bar, and it was usually country music. And so I kind of still have a knack for liking some country music because of that from my childhood, I guess. And some of the people that would come out of the bar, kids that was there in town, we would joke with them or talk to them because a lot of the men were friendly to us kids. So I remember some of the guys that used to hang out at the bar. But back in those days, us kids, we didn't have a lot of toys and stuff. We just did with a few things. Like a lot of us had bicycles, and I can remember building like a room in the yard with clothespins and blankets and using the clothesline to make a square, to make like a room, and then putting little furniture inside it. And we'd play hopscotch and jump rope, and it was just simple life. I don't know. I mean, there was businesses everywhere. It was really remarkable how many businesses there was in town. I mean, there were several gas stations and garages and funeral home and stores.
Friendsville had a real heyday
Yeah.
right about then, before McHenry, I think, got developed at all, and
It was kind of funny, like on Sundays, me and my girlfriend, we would sit on the porch at the store, because I lived there too, and we would count cars that would go by, because people from Pittsburgh would be going back home, and I guess other cities that had places at the lake. And we'd either count cars, or we would wave at people and see how many would wave at us. I mean, there was businesses everywhere. There was 3 stores right there together. There was Cecil Schroyer's across from my dad's store. And then on up was Olin Friends, which was a clover farm. And then there was 2 bars right there. There was Ken's Tavern and Bud Fisher's bar. And so there was always a lot of people going to stores and to the bars. And then there's Mr. Now's store, which he had the jewelry shop and sold newspapers and magazines. And it was just an exciting time. There was barber shops. At Fisher's bar, there was a barber shop in it. Davy Sellers had one. And then up the street from Schroyer's store was Doyle McCullough's barber shop. Also, Wright's store was up there. And they had a shoe store, so it was busy. Mother, she sold clothing in her style shop, and she had women's clothing and kids' clothing and some men's. And then she had a shoe store, and she had for kids, men and women. And a lot of people came in there to buy their kids' clothes. And at Christmas time, she got a supply of toys in, and that was always exciting, because there'd always be little kids coming to see what toys we had. We sold a lot of stuff, and we'd help people to pick out Christmas gifts, and we wrapped their gifts for them if they wanted them wrapped.
And what was it like when they put the freeway through? Like, was that a big deal? Did it disrupt the town a lot?
Yeah, it kind of killed it somewhat, because then you didn't have the traffic passing through. Yeah, because I mean, there used to be a lot of traffic in Friendsville. And then after the freeway came in, then they bypassed it.